While they're having that conversation, I'd like to inspect the things that he has going on in this room. You had mentioned some limbs and necrotech of
Okay.
gross.
Make
Like,
me a double insight check.
okay, insight is okay on me, so we'll see. Okay, it's a 10. It's a
Okay.
3 and a 7.
So some of this, I will say that you recognize. There's a lot of sort of alchemical work. There's also a lot of the kind of mechanical work that would go into making necrotech, limbs, artifice, that sort of thing. What's different is that there appears to be some additional, to call it a factor, he is not relying on necrotech to get some of these machines to work. There are necrotech limbs here. They appear to be older ones, although the design's still quite advanced. But they've got a little layer of dust on them and the like. A lot of the newer things appear to have vials, glass containers, or like crystalline bits to them that look to be capable of holding maybe a kind of alchemical substance or something along that like. And they appear to be like powered by it or designed to function with it in a way that it is drawing power from this and not from necromancy. A lot of necrotech will like have parts of like the bone or other types of stuff inlaid with the machinery, or merely the runes in order to sort of lock onto the soul to be animated by that sort of spirit. This has similar properties to it, only the runes are not necromantic. You don't recognize a lot of these runes, which is a little concerning because you recognize a lot of things. And it does appear to have a similar build to the sort of enhancements that you saw on Marius and Minzy. They had those sort of, they had little elemental parts on them, little vials that, if you'll recall, Marius had this sort of like black lightning to it, and Minzy had this sort of chemical mixture that was sort of like a pink with these sort of like a lava lamp of pink and black, like an inky black to it that had swirled around in it. You recognize those design elements in this, but you cannot work out exactly what's happening, what the function is. But looking around this laboratory, looking at the different chemicals, the different instruments, that does appear to be roughly what is happening. And you do even see, obviously, the table that has a lot of that black substance on it that that Steve and the rest of them had walked by earlier as well. You notice that. It does not react to you in any particular way as you walk by it, for the record. But yeah, is there anything else in particular you want to look at while you're looking around?
I mean, as a person, yes, but as a character, I don't think so. Is because he's a tinkerer, so he wants to know what's going on with the mechanical bits.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the reality is that at a fundamental level, Gunolf can look at the stuff. He understands how it works in a way, but what he doesn't understand is exactly how it's powered, so to speak, if that makes sense. Like, looking at it, he can say, okay, fundamentally, I understand how this hand, say, like, functions or works. However, like, you don't understand what is providing the sort of magical energy necessary to, like, that would animate it or connect it necessarily to a person. That you're not grasping. What is grasping is that one hand on the table. There is a hand that is just doing like this and clawing a lot. That one you notice doesn't have any of the vials or other kind of like things built into it. It just appears to be mechanical with a lot of those sort of runes on it. And it does seem to be moving sort of with a life of its own. But you can't make out exactly how it's functioning. It almost appears more magical than mechanical in a way.
Do we? This might be a strange request, but can I hand the hand a pen?
Sure.
And then
You can hand it a pen.
I want to see if it can write anything down.
Okay. You kind of you put a pen in there, and then do you like hold up like a book or something to it?
Yeah, like a piece of paper or something to it, like on a clipboard or whatever.
Pull up one of the
Okay.
36 books that they brought back from the library.
No,
Oh my
those are
gosh.
all back at the hotel. We're not going to damage them because they're very important, all of them, all 36.
All of them.
And you sort of hold it up to it, and it sketches a bunch. And it sort of like kind of taps a little bit, and then it just starts writing. You can hear it like, and then eventually it just sort of starts like tapping the page, like as though it's done. And looking at it, it just says, "Set me free, imbecile, weak, stupid, idiot. Let me free."
Whoa, good call, dog. That's creepy. Whoa.
I assume that it has intelligence, and I'll say, "Who are you?" and how could I?
Okay. So you put your kind of your pen up against it, and I'm gonna have to hold on.
I mean, the hand was pretty rude, though. I don't know if we're...
It doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, what about imbecile, comma, please?
Yeah.
You say the magic word.
What was your question to it exactly? Who are
Said,
you?
Who are you, and how could I?
I guess how would it phrase this? It would say, let's see here. Sorry.
He's asking. This is an AI. He's asking
No.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, no, I'm not. You hold it up to it, and the response that you get, I just want to make sure I write it down, as I'm not gonna review the VOD. Sorry, guys, I hate my own voice. And it says, "Ixaloth the Mighty, break me, break arm, kill doctor." There's many exclamation marks in this. All of them have an exclamation mark. And Ixaloth is spelled Ixalath.
Oh god.
As one does.
I hope you got that, and you put that in the board.
But that is the answer you get on your paper.
I imagine that they'll come back before I have the opportunity.
Sure. Then the door. Then you hear
Oh,
them
no.
entering back into the room. Okay.
Poor arm.
Well, really quick. So on the
yeah,
way...
on the glass. Get back here.
Yeah, on the way back, I do want to say, just to the doctor, I was going to ask Albus, but I think it's just going to be an easier route just to direct this to the doctor. So just to say, you talked about, you approached, Steve seems like he's really deep in thought, and eventually he just kind of says, you've approached this from a scientific perspective. Have you tried from a religious perspective yet? A lot of these religions, if they're like the ones that I'm from, in the world that I'm from, there's symbolism in rituals and ceremonies. Could you switch someone's religion based on undergoing some sort of ceremony, or alternatively sever a connection by something that has symbolic meaning, since obviously consent is going to be an issue?
And he He does seem to take
Baptism-
your words rather
baptism
seriously.
Would be the
The one now?
real world example that I don't think exists in D&D. Maybe it does, but
Is what?
like baptizing somebody is a ritual that is non-consensual. Well, it can be, but they baptize babies. They're automatically in.
And he does take your words as you seriously as you say them, and he goes, "That is an intriguing direction to take this. I will admit I am not experienced in religious endeavors. My degrees are most assuredly not in theology, but you do propose an interesting avenue to explore. This is one that I'm ill-suited for, but I do think I may pass that on to the Inquisition."
Give this man an exorcism.
In a way.
Power of Christ compels you.
And he's like, "Unfortunately, I do not know any way to do it, nor do I have the means to truly explore what could be ailing this white tiger folk. I am not a master of mental manipulation. I cannot see into his mind. Thus, I am unsure of exactly what it is he suffers from on the inside. That is something that someone with another set of skills would probably have to devise. But
And
if
that
this
person-
is something akin..."
Sorry, go ahead. The person who has those skills doesn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. In theory, I could.
He
Theory.
says he does say, "But so while I cannot ascertain the nature of his mental affliction, you do present an alternative avenue that I had not considered. You have been most helpful, Mr. Steve, was it?"
Steve.
And he actually kind of holds out a hand to shake your hand. "I appreciate your input."
I'm gonna take his hand.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, I don't approve of everything you've done here, and I really would implore you to cool it on the incinerating subjects when they seem to be no longer of use to you. But I appreciate
and-
your help, and you've been forthcoming with us. And if we can
And
trust you in the future, I would like to do that. I would like you to help me trust you.
And he nods and he goes, "Well, Steve, the fact of the matter is that your suggestion might be what saves that white tiger folk's life. You have to understand the precautions I take. Incineration, for example. These are dictated to me. They are imperial policy in regards to those infected by the flesh curse. If it were discovered that I was merely keeping him because, with no avenue or means of fixing him, that would be very bad for me and potentially bad for the city. But an avenue of research I hadn't considered, well, that bodes researching. That is something I can pass on to the Inquisition when they inquire about this little visit of ours. And as such, might very well save that man's life. So, you've done well today, if your goal is to save him. And perhaps save others."
Great. And talk to Marie one-on-one before you leave.
And he's sort of like, certainly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
Ew.
Oh,
Shit.
good call. Yes. Marie.
Oh God.
My wife.
Man.
Yeah. You know, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah.
So as you guys go back, Steve, you do technically get another chance if you want to make me another insight check.
Sure.
Great.
Let's see. What will I get this time? I haven't gotten a 3 yet. Let me try that.
3, 3, 3.
So what are you even rolling?
It was, 8.
Ooh,
That's like the highest I've gotten today
That's
so far.
that's the same roll as last time. How was?
Roll20 is a very functional program. That
Now it's a 4 and
Now,
a 4.
mind you, his
But-
dice is a D6, so it's not
Yeah,
outside the
do
realm.
you
of
have-
possibility.
Eight's a good
I
result
guess
then.
I would say, well, so what's the highest you can get? Like, what's the highest bond that you even have here?
Do
Do
you
you
have
even
a
have
level-
like
do
Do you have a level 2
bond?
bond? If you get that to a 10.
I don't
Yeah.
think I do. Because I think I've been like spreading them out more than doubling down so far. But let
Mhm.
me check. Let me
Which
check.
makes sense.
Let me check.
But yeah, that's the downside of a double D6 roll, is that an 8's a pretty good percentile
good.
roll.
It's a really good one. Yeah.
I
But
only
usually
have
like a
2
7
bonds
is successful.
total.
Mm.
So. Yeah, what?
I only have 2 bonds total. I feel like maybe I missed
You
on an
should
opportunity
have-
to make one. But
We've been denied our
You
rest
should have
activities
at
by
least
our
4
totalitarian
opportunities.
GM, so
yeah, I only have
There's-
2.
there's no time for friendship when everybody's getting fucked every
So-
2 hours.
So if I did miss one, maybe I can do it later. But it would.
it
I would
sounds
only
like you
have
missed
one level
2.
anyway. So
Yeah.
I'll spend a fabulous.
Well, I
point,
think.
though. I'll spend a fabulous point.
No, you'll spend a what?
I'll spend a fabulous point on 2 just to reroll.
Okay.
I mean, I could re-roll 1, but whatever.
I'm trying to do the
That's-
math in my head.
Is that better?
I mean, to get
I
a
don't
to get
know.
a 10, if that's what he needs, he can only roll a 6 off of the 4 if he keeps it. So it's only 1 and 6.
But it's better than.
But 2 dice
Having
need to
to
be
reroll
5
2
or
dice.
6 on both, essentially.
Hey, 9. Look at that.
Look at that.
And then-
Whoa.
But you could bond up.
One more Fabula point, and then you could bond up.
Can
Yeah, you
I
could bond
can I
up.
do that? Can you re-roll and do?
Yes.
I believe that's true if you
Yeah.
spend them in different ways.
Yeah, it has to be
Jeez.
different.
Okay. So Doug,
Yeah.
I spent 3 fabulous points today. Then
Given the fact that you're just having to spend them as currency, to me, it feels like that's still like it should go to something.
cool. Okay. So then that's a 10, then, Jason.
Okay. I'll get suddenly darker as I
And
close
I
the
only have
PDF
1
for the
point
game.
left. But that's okay.
So,
I'm helping us.
Yes. It is at this point, as you walk past the table with all the sort of dark liquid in it, that once again you notice it sort of like moves. But given like the way that it moves, you notice that it is absolutely just following seemingly you. It is reacting to you as you move past it, basically.
So I would be like talking with, making my new best friend with Leopold, and then as we're like mid, like the ending, whatever we were saying, the end of that, and I would just kind of
Okay.
cut and be like, oh, yeah, like that sounds good. Why is this black goo following me right now?
And at this point, he looks at it and obviously notices it. You pointed it out to him. And he goes, well, that's intriguing.
And I would like
And-
back up and move forward, and I'm assuming it would follow me to and fro.
Kind of. Yeah. It seems to be following your right side a bit more.
Oh,
okay.
Is that the side that your sword is on? Or is your sword on your left side?
My sword is technically on my. Well, Maya, where
On
did
your
you
back?
draw my my sword
It
sheet?
looks like on your back, yeah. That's
It is on his back.
I think it's
Okay,
on my
well
back.
then it is just following you proper.
Okay.
Yeah.
spoilers.
But if you were to like turn, it would lean towards that side.
I would. I mean, I would probably do all sorts of movement, and
It
Oh, yeah,
reacts. It is almost clearly reacting to the sword,
so
or at
I would
least more. your
draw
back.
the sword, and kind of
Okay.
like
And
traffic control.
passing it over, if you were to say pass it over them, it levitates to the top and sort of tries to follow it around. Correct.
Okay. So I'm waiting for
Do
Leopold to be
myself
like,
and
"Oh,
Sharp
that's
see it
just a
too?
sword goo."
Are we watching Steve?
Magnets.
Magnets. What was that, Sean?
Yeah. So I would just say I would wait for Leopold to explain why the goo is doing that, Peter asked if they're noticing, and I would say
They do.
Yeah,
you guys do
you're
notice.
here.
If you stop, I mean, he's over there playing with his sword. You know what I mean? Like you guys.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were like ahead of him and Sean or Steve just kind of stopped and was goofing around with the goo.
Yeah,
while
he
we were
kind of
walking
stops,
away.
but he's kind of moving it around and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay.
that. Yeah. But you guys can notice. He's not. No one's trying to hide anything. But he looks. He certainly looks a little bit perplexed by this whole thing himself, and he goes, I will admit I'm not entirely sure what is happening here. What is the nature of this sword of yours?
Magic where I'm from, and nothing here.
And he seems a little perplexed, and he goes, well, evidence seems to differ. There is something here. What could your sword do where you are from?
I mean, don't get me started. What couldn't it do? Teleportation, elemental magic, conjure barriers, phase in and out. I could recall it from anywhere.
And he does seem amazed by this, and he goes, it was capable of all of these feats on its own. What
Yeah,
sort
it
of
could
magic
glow,
was
too.
bestowed in it?
Sorry, what?
He asked what kind of magic was bestowed in it.
Do I even know the answer to that in a one-word phrase? Because it was like powerful magic that was passed down through generations and contained the will of its users and access to kind of the spells that they had as well, along with like a variety of, force and teleportation and fire and all sorts of shit.
Did you just explain that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Because like we didn't have a word like, and Jason, I'm right? There wasn't like, this is light
Correct.
magic.
It had a bunch of like souls that you could commune with and a bunch of other stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was sort of beyond Steve's understanding. But Leopold kind of listen to you, and he goes, well, you say it was capable of communicating with the past wielders. Were their souls, you mean?
Or
spirits?
echoes of the souls. I'm not entirely sure. There was some way to commune, but I don't
And he
know
goes,
if it was literally them, and I never really thought about it until I came here, and all of a sudden, the idea of a soul is very tangible.
And he sort of nods and he goes, well, then I think I can hypothesize. Are you familiar with telecommunication crystals or speaking stones?
We have an equivalent where I'm from. Yeah, I don't think we've come across them here yet.
And he kind of goes, well, here they work by allowing a being in one place to speak to a being in another place via sort of shared magical resonance that is shared between the two objects. If I had to guess, I suspect your sword acted in a similar way, either by changing its resonance to match the souls that you speak of, yourself and them, or perhaps via exposure, it changed the souls of its wielders, such as yourself, to resonate with it. Either way, resonance, a wavelength like that, once you all shared it, you'd be able to communicate. But something like that can only travel so far. If I were to speculate, I'd say that you're simply too far from the souls that you once communed with. So your weapon's not broken, it's merely out of range, so to speak.
Any way that you know of to boost the range?
And he shakes his head. He goes, I don't even know entirely how you got here. You said a being sent you here. I
That makes
don't
two
know
of
how
us.
far. What now?
You said, I don't know how you totally got here, and I said, that makes two of us.
And he goes, I can't speak to boosting a range of something I hardly understand to a distance I do not know. But this here, and he points to the stuff on the desk, he goes, it's negatively charged astral plasm. It's also known as abyssal oil or pitch. It's a remnant of the Lord of Pride's attempt to merge the material plane with the abyssal realms of the astral expanse during the final days of the abyssal invasion, when demons walked the earth here. In much the same way that demons became changed in their time spent on the material plane, so too did the atmosphere of the abyss itself that leaked in. Mired, weighed down with sin, all of that, it eventually congeals into this. As it comes from the plane of thought, it is inherently psychoreactive. It's not easy to come by, all things considered. Fields of it can be found in the Badlands to the south, but it was rather expensive to procure it here. If your sword possesses similar qualities, it's possible that it can resonate with astral plasm the same way. Intriguing, I must say. Would you like some of it?
What do you think it could do? Could it help with that connection?
And he goes, to be honest, Steve, I have no idea what it could do. You're something of a total oddity here. I've no idea what your soul or what the magic that you carry can do to anything from our own world. Magic of your kind, travelers like you, don't always align perfectly with the laws of our world, but this seems to have some sort of connection. If you wish to explore it, I'd be happy to help.
If it's doable, if you're willing to part with some, I'm not going to turn down a possible avenue for figuring this out.
And he just sort of like kind of motions to the table, and he goes, well, here. And he kind of picks up, and it sort of looks almost like what would be a I don't really want to call it a lamp. It's almost like a sealed cylinder. It's certainly a lot more durable than some of the glass vials that you see, but you kind of get the feeling that, like, if you were to sort of unhook it and remove it, there's a glass vial kind of like inside there. Essentially, you can kind of see there's a little window. It's almost like there's two cylinders that slide into each other,
Okay.
and one of them is solid and one of them is see-through. But it's got sort of a handle on the top like it was a lantern. And he goes, this is for moving it under duress, to help ensure that it doesn't spill. Take it with you. I can always procure more. I'm interested to see what this does. How it reacts to you is certainly worth exploring.
Great. I would
And
like to.
he hands it to you.
Okay.
And you are now a science experiment.
Jesus.
Now you're subject 20.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so you've got it. Everybody else sees this exchange happen. But then he walks the rest of you guys back over
You're
and
being
goes,
pretty chummy with your ex.
All right.
and he then sort of like raises his arm and he kind of hits a little thing, and Rosalind, since you're near the door, you can hear the door on the other end sort of click. So both doors are now open. The one next to you and the one on the other end of the hallway. And he says, I feel that this has been a most enlightening conversation, but I get the feeling that you have no desire to be here longer than necessary. Am I right?
I would like.
She was like, fucking get me out.
I'd like to
Wanna get outta here.
confirm privately with our group before we leave. I'm waiting to
If
see.
you do like a huddle, he'll sort of turn away respectfully.
Oh, okay.
Can you
wow.
turn off your ears,
That's-
robot man?
As we all know, when you face the other direction, your ears just don't work.
Correct. Yeah. He's not going all out. He's not like walking away, but he is just sort of like, sure, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
So I would like to ask Kestrel. I would just say he brought us. Like, there's a lot that we can all go over, and I have some things to share. I think the most pressing thing is there is a white tiger folk in the back. He is taken from madness, similar to what Myru experienced from what you told me, and even what Albus had, but many, many times worse. Leopold mentioned being able to inspect his aura, see inside of his head a little bit, and I just remembered that that was something, Kestrel, that you did. And before we left, I wanted to know if there was any desire for you to do that with this tiger folk, to see if we could learn something about this type of madness and the connection to the flesh curse and what it does to his spirit. But he is wild, and I think it would be risky. So I wanted to ask you.
And if he is like Albus sometimes, or what Myru was when she changed, he has been taken by curiosity. I know this. I can go, maybe.
Is there any
It
point?
would be. I don't. What do you want to know from this? I want to know what you think I can do, because I can tap in, see, maybe bring him to the the spirit lands, and talk to him there. He will be maybe himself, maybe not. It is hard to say. What do you want to know from this, though?
I don't know. I wish there was some insight we could glean on how to save him, how to break Curiosity's hold of him.
I could try. I would have to touch him, though.
He's sedated. He's asleep. Forcefully asleep. You could touch him. Does he need to be awake for it to work?
No, it doesn't.
Is there any point?
Do you want me to do this? Because I will. If you believe that this may offer us some answers, I will do this. But I will ask that you all come with me, because I don't feel safe in there.
Of course we'll go with you, but I don't want to push you to do something that has some risk if you already feel that there's no reward, if there's no point, if you've done something similar to this in the past, for example.
No, I suppose I have not. The creatures of curiosity in the grove, mindless, crawling flesh things, not really people like this, so it would be different. We don't commune there, and they cannot affect us. We fight them all the time. Blood intermingles, we are okay. So maybe I will be fine. I could try.
I don't want to put
Maybe
you
it
in
would be
danger,
different.
and I want to hear what the rest of
Huh?
the group has to say, but I wish we had the opportunity to do something like this for Myru. Just any insight
fair.
at all. One last chance to connect to the person who was inside before they were taken. Albus, what do you
Anybody have
think?
anything to say?
Albus?
It's napping.
Uh, can Peter hear us?
Peter?
Yeah, what's up?
Peter?
Oh,
Oh,
just wanted to know if you had any reservations about her checking out the White Tiger's spirit landscape.
No, if it could help.
Okay.
I think it should be fine.
If
Anybody else?
no one else has any reservations, I guess.
I think it would be good.
Uh,
But yeah, I agree. Like we'll all go with you, Kestrel. Like there will be no we will protect you. Like you will not get kidnapped or like taken hostage.
I'm not very interested in spending more time in a cell.
Yes, that
Hope
won't
you
happen.
understand. Okay.
Now he is unfortunately in a cell.
Fair.
And
Then
you will need to
just
go inside
Come
of it.
with me, please. I'm not going alone.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there, and we'll have
Okay.
some with Leopold, so we can't pull a fast one on us. It'll be okay.
Okay. Then
Also,
I am willing to try.
whatever happens in there, do not speak on it until we're out of this facility.
Oh, good point.
If Leopold asks, give him only the very basic.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm willing to try.
Marie, do you want to ask, or do you want me to talk to Leopold about this? Why don't I do it?
Do you want to talk to
I
your
don't wanna
husband
put-
and ask him?
Too much pressure on you.
Sorry.
Leopold, we talked, and
He turns around. He goes,
Oh.
Please have your ears on again.
we think Kestrel might be able to glean some insight if she can touch the white tiger. What's the guy's name? What's his name? Do you know his name?
and he goes, unfortunately, I was not able to get his name.
Albus, do you recall his name from your village?
He recognized me, and we kind of recognized each other, but it was in passing.
Man, I guess if you really want, you can make an insight check, but you're gonna have to roll high to pull a name. This is like I think I know
just
that guy in high
Peter,
school.
yeah, try
yeah,
it.
you,
Yes.
Alice.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This is just
All right.
Sean's sheer laziness.
No, it
to not
matters.
say
We've
White
never asked for the
tiger
guy's name.
folk.
This poor guy who's
I
changed
got a 14.
14.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that was Greg. He
Pretty
loved
good.
macaroni.
You
He
think
knows his social
think-
security number.
you think back, and you believe his name was Bolin.
Bolin?
Bolin.
Yeah, Bolin. Bolin.
Okay, got it.
Julie.
Bolin. Okay. So Bolin, we think she might be able to glean something if she can touch Bolin. And if you're fine with it, we'd like to try it before we leave.
And he nods and he goes, "Hello, of course. Knowledge is power after all, so I have no reason to deny this request." Very well, follow me. Then he goes to walk back across the laboratory and let you guys in.
Now,
Back.
Steve, you have a third chance to roll for the black goo.
Yeah, I would like to miss it this time.
Can I roll for the black goo?
Do you want to roll for the black goo? I
Can
don't know
I
what
steal some black
First
goo?
time.
Sorry, I'm
you
kidding.
want to steal some black goo.
I'm kidding. It's
Oh, yeah.
a joke. I don't need to notice the black goo. I'm
You just
joking.
pocket like a globe of it or something.
I'm collecting bullshit. So anyway,
Fingers.
There's a lot of bullshit in here to collect, by the way.
I know, but I'm not in the mood. So
Okay.
yeah.
So who all is going back there with Kestrel?
Me.
Is it all
Okay,
of
so
us?
it's
I
not-
think I should definitely
Me.
go, but somebody I think, God, Gunolf probably is going to go.
Yeah, he said yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody should stay with,
So-
again, like the doctor in case he hits the fucking button and we're all...
Well, I think more than one someone should.
Sure, great.
What?
Roz is fine
Everybody
being
goes
one
with
of
me,
them.
though.
So,
Okay.
Roz and Marie, can
Roz
you
is
Yeah.
staying behind.
Okay.
Sharp and
Okay.
Roz will stay.
Okay. Sharp and Roz stay. Albus, Steve, and Gunolf go with Kestrel.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
Round
all head to the
two.
back. Yep.
Yeah, we
you
walk
head
to the back.
walk to the back, and yeah, Kestrel, you're getting some. Honestly, like make me like a willpower check here.
Oh.
As you walk into
Just
like a holding cell that is very familiar. Like this is
Yeah.
that's what this place
no.
is.
Make a PTSD check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make a PTSD, a double willpower. here.
PTSD check. Let's go. 7.
Okay.
Should I re-roll that too, just to keep
You
from
roll-
freaking out? Or
You're welcome to.
You
keep
have
whatever roll
a
you want.
+2 bond, right?
I don't, because I've been spreading it out.
Yeah.
I have 4 bonds, but all of them were with different people. Shit.
No, Doug, I feel like 8 is a threshold for a lot of checks, right?
It's 7, 10, 13 for most.
Oh, okay. So then 7 might be fine.
You
I
could
guess the
reroll
risk is
2.
you re-roll and then you
I'm
get a
gonna
5.
reroll the 2 just for fucks and giggles.
You got a 50-50, you get into a 10.
Is it /R or R/?
/R.
Slash R.
Okay, thank you. Where is what up? D8. Right.
Okay. That's
That's
a
much better.
7 and a 5 now. So
Hey,
12.
12.
Okay.
You summon the inner strength and you push down the anxiety attack as it's
Yeah.
clearly welling up within you, coming in
She
here.
pushes down the bird, which she was going to transform
I
into.
pushed down the bird, fighting to get free.
And especially as once he leads you back there, he hits like one of the other little dials that he's got, and the door to the cell opens up. However, that just means now you've got to walk into another cell. So that's another anxiety spike that kind of comes up, but you're able to push it down. Now you have
Before
to
I
touch
walk in
them.
there,
Is everybody going in there with you?
before I go in there, before I make any move to get in there, I turn and I look at my friends like, please come in with me, one of you.
Yes, I'm in there.
Okay. Gunoff is coming.
I mean, I'll go in
I'm
too.
also gonna go in there.
Well,
Okay.
Steve, should you hang out with your new
Bestie.
best friend?
No, you guys are with
Yeah,
me.
your new friend.
No, isn't he inside with you
Buddy,
guys
buddy.
with the dog?
I don't
With the
think
dog.
so.
Why does he dog?
The dog.
Dog.
No, he
That's
walks you
racist.
guys back and is
Yeah,
there.
I'm assuming he's not going in the cell. Is he going in the cell itself?
Leopold is not going in
Yeah.
the cell.
No, but he's in the hallway. Roz and I are in the room with all the shit.
No, you and Roz are with Leopold. That was what we said. Who's staying with Leopold to keep an eye on him? And it was you and Roz.
No, Roz and I are in the other room. You guys went into a whole separate hallway.
Well, Roz I imagine he has to come with us here because he has to, like... Well, I guess not. He doesn't have to deactivate the sedative. But he has to let us get into
He
the
doesn't.
cell.
But I mean, it's
He does
his,
not.
experiment. So
He's gonna open the door.
He's opening the door. He would like to see. If
Yeah,
there are
he's
any,
up there with you guys. He's not hanging. Roz and I can't see what's going
Okay.
on.
You're with him.
No.
Whether he's in the back room or this room, the idea was you guys are staying with Leopold.
So then
That
we
was
all leave
the
the science room. That's not what Roz wanted.
No, that's fine.
Oh.
How
Roz
dare you speak on what I want?
said-
I thought everyone was. Oh my
No,
god.
You're wrong. Okay, let's continue.
It's okay. It's okay, Maisie. I was with you. I
Thank
thought
you,
everyone was staying
Jason.
behind you regardless.
Thank you.
So everybody follows into the hallway, but Sharp and Roz stay on the other side of the glass
Mhm.
while everybody else goes inside.
Okay.
Great, cool. I get to watch
I'm
still. I'm
going-
happy about that.
I am going to slowly approach the sedated, huffing with irritation, sleeping tiger man.
Does he jerk a couple times? Does he twitch?
Yeah.
Is he out? Like,
He is. He's still clearly in a very sort of like agitated, violent like sleep. Yeah.
And for the sake of trying to make this as transparent as humanly possible, I undo my shackles and I place my hand on one of his arm or something like that. And I try to find the connection with him in that mental space to try to see what his issue. Like, I'm trying to connect with him, the internal person who is there, to my little spirit lands, sort of thing.
Okay. So you're touching him. Is anybody else touching you?
Yes, I would touch her hand as she puts her hand on. Like I want to be there too.
Does that say?
Well, and I would have said unless she told him, make sure you don't touch me because
Yeah.
that can ruin something. I'm assuming she didn't do that, but
Like how electricity gets.
yeah.
So, but it is only Gunolf that is touching currently.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless Albus is touching the tiger. Bolin.
I don't think
I
I,
imagine I'm
should be touching
probably
that guy.
standing on the other side of the table, just
Okay.
ready in case the tiger really starts to freak out, in case Bolin starts to try and break his restraints.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good call.
So Maya, I want you to make was it like a ritual or spell casting check? I believe that's
Yeah.
it. It's whatever
God.
your
The rituals. Fucking.
believe it's willpower and it's from your spiritist class.
I believe it.
Spiritist. Okay.
I believe it is insight willpower.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I shall roll for that then. It's the persuade. I'm gonna persuade him. 13's not bad.
13 is really
I'll
good.
let it ride.
13 is quite good. So, you let your mind drift, and you, it is a sort of weight, sort of a mental ocean that you sort of let yourself fall adrift on, and you let that weight carry Gunolf with you as he is touching you. Gunolf, you also find yourself adrift in this sort of mental space. And it is sort of a chaotic, turbulent motion to it before you guys sort of find almost like an island in a sea. You feel like you have sort of pinpointed what you're looking for. There's like a calm or a landmass, a shape, a light. There's something up ahead, and as you push into it, you find yourself occupying a space much in the same way that you had when you had communed the other day, where both of you are there. Gunolf, you still feel this sort of like semi-spiritual type feel to you. Kestrel, you recognize it, but you are not in the grove that you recognize. You are not in a grove. You are in a city that is both very familiar, but also incredibly foreign. It looks like Lighthaven, but out of some kind of weird nightmare. The city streets and everything twist, they angle. The buildings seem a little too tall, almost as though they are trying to like block out your vision and trap you in here. As you look down the roads and all the different angles, you notice that it's just alley to alley to alley to alley, and nothing makes sense. There are not crossroads where they should be. There's just corners feeding into corners. You are in a maze that appears to be constructed from the crude memory of Lighthaven itself. And it is not occupied by people that you see, but you see what is left over of people. There are bodies strewn all about the streets, thrown into windows. There are limbs that have been torn off. There are entrails tossed across the streets. The gutters run red with blood. This is a sort of nightmarish Lighthaven that has seen a grotesque massacre. And you can hear from one of the alleys screams, people dying, people fighting. You can hear it in the distance, but you do not yet see its source.
Yet.
Yet.
So.
Mhm.
I
Is
see
there-
nothing else. There is no Bolin here with me. I don't, even though I've touched him, he does
How-
not appear.
Okay, where do you want to focus your senses as you look around? Do you want to take in everything?
I suppose.
On Bolin.
Trying to find what. I don't want to go towards the screams necessarily, but it almost seems like the right direction.
As you look around, you notice that there is sort of almost maybe an overcast feel to this place. And as you look up into the sky, there's a sort of crash of lightning in the clouds, and for a moment you see a trio of glowing red tiger eyes looking down from the sky, and you can feel the overbearing weight of its gaze as it looks down upon you, looking up at it. Do you avert your gaze, or do you
I know
hold
what
your
this-
gaze?
Do I recognize this gaze as anything other than tiger eyes, or?
Ooh. So I would say that whatever this is, whatever seems maybe a little familiar about this is maybe a weight and a glare that you don't readily recognize. This is something new to some degree.
Okay.
This is a novel experience.
Okay. Well, I meet its gaze. I am petrified by it.
Mhm.
I don't avert my gaze. My hand clasps tightly over Gunnolf. I'm almost frozen as I look up at it. Yeah.
So you do not avert your gaze.
I don't.
There is a sort of a rumble, so to speak, a shifting in the stones. And as there's sort of crashing of thunder up above, you feel this like weightlessness. It's almost as if like you're being pushed upward. And Gunnolf, I'm gonna need you to make like a double willpower check here.
There
Okay.
you go.
That's
It's a 7
great.
and an 8.
Mm-hmm. So
Nice. He's
the
lucky.
ground underneath Kestrel, as she looks up into the sky, seems to sort of shift and erupt. And holding onto her hand, you almost find yourself like pulled from her. As she is drawn up from the city streets, and you along with it, as you're able to maintain your grasp of her. And the two of you find yourselves sort of shooting up. The buildings, the walls, all that stuff fall away, and you find yourself sort of up amongst the storming kind of clouds to a degree. But as you look down at what you are standing on, all of the rubble, the tiles, all the parts of the city that were there have fallen away, and you see that it is a great pawed hand that now holds you aloft in the sky. And as it raises you up, sort of above the cloud cover, you see what looks to be this massive white tiger folk, or some semblance therein. It is, to describe it as like, it's monumental in scope. It is large as it holds you aloft, and its body seems to have been twisted in some degree. The three eyes that you saw were the eyes that you would expect on the face of a tiger, but there is a third eye that sits in the middle of its forehead as well. Sprouting from its back, almost as though there were like where dragon wings might be, are another pair of arms. And the muscles on its skin are so bulging, so rippling, that they have pushed out of its skin and tore it at places. It is literally too massive for its own skin as it stands here. And you can see that there are parts, its tail is not that of just a cat tail anymore. It appears to have been elongated. It has a razor kind of edge to it. Its teeth, it has a few too many in its mouth. It is what you have to imagine a warrior pushed beyond all reason to perfect its body, with no regard for its own I don't know, health or sanity. And as it holds you up, it looks down upon you, and it just, in this rumbling voice like the thunder, asks you. It says, "Who are you to disturb my servant's dreams?"
Terrified. Just absolutely shaking in my boots, which I'm not wearing. God. Kestrel.
And there's just this booming voice that rattles everything. And Gunnulf, you can climb up onto the hand if you want to at this point.
Absolutely,
You're not
yeah.
and it just goes, "Kestrel, who?"
Okay, what does that mean?
And it pulls you close, and there's this stench of flesh, things consumed, like whatever you get the feeling that it's eaten things that you certainly wouldn't eat. And as it pulls you close, it just says, "Which god do you serve?"
Don't.
And
What? Who are you?
and there's this almost, I don't say gleeful smile, this almost proud, almost sadistic smile, like, "I am he who is perfect in form, the master of all that is combat. I will best all. Do you challenge me, Kestrel, the godless?"
Oh, I just came here to help. I wanted to see if I could talk to Bolin. He's not well.
Olin, a proud servant. He has embraced that which will be our future. He will be made strong. I have seen. I know. What do you know, little Kestrel?
I know this isn't right. I don't think I should be here anymore.
And it turns to you, Gunnulf, and it says,
Mhm.
Are you a godless heathen like this demon spawn?"
Godless? A god has claim to me.
"Is that so? Do they wish to challenge me?"
Do they wish to challenge you?
Yes.
Probably not. But Gunnulf's just gonna sit on his paw and be like, "But how about a challenge of wits?"
And it sort of cocks its eyebrow and it goes, "A challenge of wits, you say? Continue."
What is strength?
And it says, "To know victory."
To know victory. But is that all that there is to it?
What more could there be? Peace? Peace is a lie. Peace will not protect you. Only strength. Only victory over those who would stop you. What is this farce you put before me?
It seems like your follower, or you, have let go and failed. They are no longer able to control themselves. They have fallen to their rage.
And it sort of I don't know how, cocks an eyebrow, so to speak. There's a brief look of confusion, but not genuine confusion. Almost like silly little thing. Sort of like, what do you think you're talking about? And it just goes, no, it is not lost. Bolin is what we should be. I have seen potential to be more, to push ourselves beyond forms. Victory yet unknown will be known. Your
But to
lack-
what point?
There is no limitation. If you seek weakness, that is your downfall.
Is having a point weakness?
And
Just arguing with a god. Okay.
and he goes, what do you mean?
To lose yourself, to attack without any reason, it seems like it's just madness. Is that what you are? Is that your god? Is that your domain? Is madness?
And there's a chuckle, like roaring thunder, that kind of rumbles out from him. And he just says, I am not mad, little one. I have seen clear. You have not seen. But I'll tell you this. If you truly think my servant lost, then release him from this sleep and see if you can best him.
This guy's
I
got a
bet you I
one-track mind.
couldn't. In a physical contest, he would probably win. But is there a point to that? What does he win in the long run?
And he goes, victory, of course. He bests you, then you get to say nothing. I tire of your little words, little man. Have
It
you
just
anything else?
It seems like you've lost any evolution. You are
I am
stagnant.
evolution. Manifest. I will grow. My servants will grow. They will perfect their bodies until they can defeat all. Thus has always been my mission, and I am now free.
I'm gonna look up at this. Obviously, I'm petrified and just kind of, collapse down on this hand, staring up at him in terror. And I'm glancing up at that third eye, and I ask, "Have you always been like this?"
And he goes, strong? Yes.
Crazy.
And he just laughs. He just laughs. You do notice, though, that as much as he laughs, the third eye seems to have a bit of a mind of its own, and it watches you two independently of the other two eyes.
Okay. I'd like to leave now. And I hold my hand out to Gunnolf to take him away from this place.
It's, who do you have to best?
Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna leave.
As
Leave
the
Gunnolf
god.
there.
I'm just gonna leave Gunnolf here.
You ask
hit him
who
with
does
the
he
Battle
have
of
to
Winks,
best?
Gunnolf.
Right.
Give him a riddle or something.
And he just says, he goes, all.
It seems like you haven't bested yourself. It seems like you are not yourself. It seems like something might be controlling you.
You speak in riddles. Riddles that you think can confuse me. But I have always been singular in purpose, and I remain singular in purpose. You look for complexity to weaken me. I have never been stronger. If you truly wish to best me, little pup, then seek out my most divine servant. Best him, then perhaps we can speak again.
Nice.
Now,
Who
you
is-
bore me. And with that, there's this motion as the hand grips around you guys, and you just feel yourselves drifting, flung from this
Oh,
place.
That's scary.
And as you sort of tumble through, you find yourselves that falling back motion, and the two of you instantly wake up and actually almost stumble backwards as you were in the
I
cell.
do actually. I fall on my ass. Yeah. Shaking and very disturbed.
Gunoff
So, yeah.
will help you back to your feet. Gunoff, so I feel like I held myself up.
Yeah, no shit. Over here just having a philosophical debate with the god of martial prowess. I'm like, what are you doing? Anyway.
Is being martial all there is to it?
Yo, what is victory if you really think about it?
I thought he was gonna pull a Hobbit and start a riddle battle with
Yeah.
the god.
How would you defeat the god? Sophistry, you know.
Maybe not the right god to try that with, but I like the effort though. That's good. That's good.
You never know.
Well, I back up. I immediately skitter out of the cell, and I'm like, it's time to leave.
So
What-
and I just whisper into Bolin's ears like, it seems I won this battle.
Oh my
Blitz."
God.
And there is a sort of like jerk of the leather straps, and like the hands kind of go to like try to grab you, but it's too restrained to do anything.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Hooray.
We'll talk outside.
Yes, time to go. And I turn and I start walking out. I'm out.
And of course, as soon as you are out, Leopold hits the button. In fact, his fingers sort of been hovering over it potentially, and he closes it. And he goes, "Well, I'm glad to see that you all remain in one piece. How did it go?"
Wasn't a very nice fella.
You made contact with Bolin, you say?
Shut up.
No,
I think
it's
we
just a lot of things going on in there that we weren't sure about what's going on. So it seems like a lot of turmoil.
keep that religious thing in mind. Let us know how it goes. I think I'm onto something. But we should probably get out of your
And-
hair.
He does turn to Kestrel and he goes, "No insights, little one?"
None. Didn't see anything, really.
That will require a lie check.
Okay.
Because you did see something.
I did. Totally did. Insight willpower?
Insight willpower.
All right. 7.
Mm.
Not very good. I don't care if you know I'm lying. Fuck you.
I'm not a part of your
He nods.
system.
Yeah, he nods and goes, "Very well. If that is all, then I will pursue these other means. I wish you all luck in your future endeavors."
Okay,
And he
bye.
sort of motions for the door. But as you guys did you guys leave? I take it.
Well, so I just want to make sure we should leave. But we came here with a purpose and then things got crazy banana, and I want to make sure that we're not forgetting like a main quest line that we were supposed to inquire or ask about and then didn't when he was right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it was about Subject 17 and like his involvement in that.
Which he did go into, but there was also
Yeah,
something
there
about
was.
the unnatural progression, which I guess we sort of touched on when he was talking about his brigands.
Uh-huh.
If no one can think of
Yeah, that
anything,
was-
we're probably fine. But we're gonna say,
It's
Maya?
definitely I mean, that's the experimental anchorite tech that we were looking into in Subject 17 and Leopold. These are all the things that I can think of right now. So
There is the
I don't
question
know.
of if Marie would like to say anything to Leopold before we go.
I was going to say, I'm only asking. He is actually going to say, Marie, moment of your time, please. He's going
It's
to try to
'cause he
pull you
respects
aside,
me and
but
he's
he
gonna talk to
can't
you.
do that if everybody's still in the room and not leaving.
Oh, it's
so.
fine. We can just turn and face the other direction.
Mhm.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, just turn off your robot ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't think we had anything else.
Okay,
I
that's
just
what
want to
I
make sure
thought
that we
too.
don't. It was
Thank you.
investigate Anchorite tech, unnatural tech advancement, and then Leopold connection. Well, I believe we found all
And
three of
and
those.
whatever the hell is going on with that hand.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh
Hands-
boy.
hand-
That's right.
The one thing I will say is, as you guys do leave, if you were to pass the table with the hand on it, Chris, Rosalind, you do hear a sort of malicious sort of laughter coming from your book as you do, along with probably like a idiot, something like that.
Inside my head or aloud?
No one else hears it, but it's probably allowed from the book.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not bringing that out in front of Leopold whatsoever, so that's going to have to be information for later.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But duly noted.
But yep. So you guys all leave the room, I assume.
I'm so sorry.
He does ask
so
for you to
sorry.
stay.
What?
The last thing
Steve?
I would ask. I know, sorry.
It's his friend. Leave him alone.
I know.
I know he's
I
better
would
friends
ask
with them in the
If
meeting.
there's a way to get a hold of him in the future, in case we stumble upon some answer, or if there's a development with Bolin.
He definitely is like, I suppose there is a way. And he kind of walks over to one of the like desks he's got, and he kind of fishes past a couple papers or whatever, and he hands you what looks to be like, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know what this is, but it appears to be like maybe a communication device of some kind, a little kind of metallic box with like what looks to be like a little crystal kind of on it and some buttons, essentially. The little crystalline display and then some buttons, sort of just put together. Yeah, I don't think you've seen one of these personally, Steve, but he does hand it to you. And he goes, if you use this, you can communicate with mine on the other end. It's those communication devices we discussed earlier, a version of them, at least.
Great. Appreciate it.
Then he gives you a nod, but then kind of looks to Marie to see if she wanted to stay behind or
Steve's gonna be like,
chat.
what
Okay.
more? Go ahead. He's gone.
And he goes, I understand that you may be upset at me, Marie. That is fair. Deserved, even. I apologize that I died, that my research took me where it did, and that I was never able to prioritize us the way I prioritize my work. I am not going to ask for your forgiveness. It seems a bit moot at this point, given that we've both died with our actions as they were. But I do hope that you find some semblance of peace and happiness. I did mean what I meant earlier when I said that I'm glad you were able to find a family, or start one. It's what we had always wanted, and I suppose in this way my dream lives on through you. But these days, I have far more pressing concerns. I'd like to ensure that your little girl has a world to live in someday. So, I will remain here as I must. But I wish you the best of luck. And he just sort of gives you a nod.
Yeah, she, says thank you for the apology. And I guess, says, just with the work, I can understand. And already, and this could have totally just been Jason, but I tell him I already, with your connection with Steve, you're already there is, you are in there, I'm seeing that. And so is there any way, I guess, what what happens when you're done with this research, unless you plan to die again from it? What's the plan for you?
And he kind of just shakes his head and goes, to be honest, Maria, I suppose I hadn't considered it. At first, when they revived me, I had considered reaching out to you, but given the security concerns, it would have only put you in danger. And at this point, my research has progressed to the point that the world I envision creating is one that will hopefully keep us safe. You, your daughter, all humankind. I hope that when I'm done helping create that world, I can live in it. But it's possible that I won't deserve to by then. So I suppose we'll see.
What does that mean?
Terrifying.
Means he's gonna nuke the world. Nuke the world from orbit.
Well, if you do find that you feel that you deserve to enjoy a life of attempted normalcy, you can come live with us and we can try to have a family together.
And he seems a little genuinely taken aback by that. And he goes, Thank you, Marie. It's something to consider. But don't let me keep you. I'm sure you've got pressing business to attend to, as do I. Won't keep you. Then he kind of motions to the rest of the group.
And she leaves.
Okay.
You can't cry because it's not role playing because Sharp can't. So
I know.
Anchorites can't cry.
yeah.
Maybe this
You-
one can.
No, you can have little ghosty tears.
Oh,
Like-
you do. She does. She has ghost tears.
No.
And just every other
Man.
anchorite doesn't.
I'm
no,
special.
anchorites
Oh,
can
okay.
have ghosty tears. They can have ghosty
Oh, okay.
tears. Yeah.
And she just
I
got.
mean, they're
she
not
just
real
remembered-
water.
I mean, they're not real tears.
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah.
10 minutes ago, she just remembered what it's like to be human, so she gets extra emotion.
That's true.
so true.
I mean, they don't have real hair or eyes either, so it's all a facsimile of life. So they can
Yeah.
certainly cry. They can have tears. Yeah.
Yay.
But yeah. So with that, do you guys leave the facility?
Yeah.
Okay. As you exit the doorways, you walk through the first one into the hallway. It doesn't shut.
And we get gas.
He watches you guys leave. You exit the outer door, and once all of you are clear, it's sort of you can hear a mechanism and it sort of pull it close. And with that, you have exited the Cistern Research Facility. You guys are now in the warehouse kind of area that you were before. Boxes all around. The leftover bits of combat damage.
Giant hole in the ground.
Giant hole in the ground. Yeah. What's your next step? Or would you guys like to leave off there?
Oh, I'm down to keep going. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Let's go back to like
Esther
either
wants to get as far away from this place as
Yeah,
possible.
I just want to go. Let's just leave.
Yeah. Probably the hotel.
out of the
Go,
sewers
please?
back to either the shop or the hotel.
Hotel? Shop? I don't care where.
Yeah.
Where is?
Okay.
I keep asking this. The carriage is at the hotel.
Yeah.
Then,
Think that's correct now?
then
Yes, I
that's
think it was
where
brought
we
to the
should go
hotel.
because I think we're probably leaving.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's talk next steps, which could take a while actually. But
Okay. See, Chris, you could turn it to mystery now. We're at mystery. Who knows what you guys will do?
Okay, good.
It could have been tense earlier, but I didn't feel like breaking the mood.
Fine. I had the fewest
The
spooky
tense
songs, but I'm gonna
between the
keep working
god,
on
the
it.
god conversation.
The tense would have been got. Yeah. But so you guys head back to the hotel. City streets seem to be as they were before. Nothing's out of place. You know, you get greeted by one of the daughters in the hotel as you enter in. You know, like, oh, welcome back. How's it going? And whatnot. You guys are probably not really in the mood for small talk.
Bad.
Not good.
Have you been down there like all night? Is it now daytime?
It is. So you guys left when it was night.
Yep.
So it is probably coming up about the cusps of morning at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is that we?
No, we left
yeah,
in the
we-
afternoon.
we
It should
left-
be the late evening now.
No, so I guess it is. It is like night. So it's late when you guys arrived. You're right.
Okay.
You didn't leave when it was night. You left when it was afternoon. So it is
Yes.
night now.
Yeah.
Correct.
We were just in a spooky atmosphere, so we had to be appropriately dark.
Exactly.
But that
Underground, you don't know what time it is. It's like Vegas.
Yeah. In fact, if I remember correctly now, the sun was setting as you guys entered the graveyard.
Right, it was
so
spooky.
it was just at the very cusp of night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about the middle of the night as you guys arrive. So one of the daughters is just sort of manning the front as you guys come in. Not a lot of activity in the hotel, given that it's the middle of the night. You know, but I think you guys head up to your room, everything like that.
Yes.
One of the rooms.
Sleep.
Okay. You guys head up to one of the rooms. Do you sleep? Do you converse? What's our plan here?
Converse,
it's the
probably.
middle of the
Mhm.
night.
Got a
and yet
lot
we
to
should
talk
probably
about.
tonight. Yeah.
Well, it's like late night.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
It is late night. It's like midnight ish.
Jason, if Steve were to like hang behind when Marie and Leopold were talking, could he have heard anything, or would it have been blocked?
I mean, I don't think he was particularly concerned about anyone hearing anything. But it was a discussion that was supposed to be done between the two, so I'd probably say you need to make an insight and like
Okay,
dex
because
checks to
Steve
be
has
sly
a
about it.
reason that he will reveal. Well, it depends if you heard anything, I guess. Insight.
No, do insight dex.
Oh, insight.
To see if
dex.
you can be
Oh, that
sly
makes
about
sense.
it.
Gonna be a 1. Is it gonna be a moot point? 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend my last point because fuck it. I want to have this conversation.
Roll 20.
Yo, a 1 and a 2. That's rough.
7.
A 7.
So you
you
can't
could-
just
Sevens.
You could piece most of the conversation together.
And
You
that's all I
probably
need.
missed a couple things here and there. There's probably some emotional intonation that you don't pick up on, but you're able to piece together most of the conversation.
Okay. Great.
Mhm.
Can I? So we going up to our rooms and then we're gonna meet and talk, or are we just immediately like talking before we go to our rooms?
We'll
Or
probably
right
go
in the room.
to a room.
But all of
Yeah.
us to the same room to start. Okay.
Same room. Group
Yeah.
huddle.
Big old
Okay.
party.
Then I will wait to talk to Sharp.
Thanks. I needed
Okay.
a moment to dry my face.
Yeah. Your dry ghost tear face.
My ghost.
How do
Oh!
I tears?
So as you enter the room, I'm basically gonna take a seat on like one of the beds and just kind of, I'm not really reacting all that much. In fact, I feel almost very distant and almost afraid. And I don't really say a whole lot. I'm just kind of wait for everybody to kind of come in.
Yeah, I think Steve would say, so to start us off, Gunolf and Kestrel, we agreed we wouldn't say anything. What did you see in the Spirit Lands with Bolin? Did you find him?
First of all, it was not the Spirit Lands. It was not the Grove. It was just like a life haven, but not, and terrifying. There were dead bodies everywhere, and nothing made sense. But when I looked up at the sky, I saw three eyes looking down, and then we were picked up, he and I, Gunolf, by some gigantic, I mean larger than even the Heartwood itself, gigantic tiger folk. Not normal, was bursting out of its skin and muscle, and the three eyes. And I never seen anything like it in my whole life. It was terrifying. Gun?
So, after it lifted us up, it sat there, and at first it didn't know who we were, which I would make sense. I mean, gods aren't absolute in all their knowledge. They have a domain. I believe this was the god of martial prowess. But it seemed like it was singularly minded, which seems strange to me for, like, with so many different forms of martial combat, that the only thing it would think about is besting and killing of people, when there's even so many martial combats where it's not even about besting in combat or anything. It is not defeating your opponent necessarily. Am I correct in that, Elvis?
It sounds like you spoke to my god, but not.
But it's not that
It seemed
different
like-
from what we saw with Myru. Not all of art is about slashing people's throats and the most grotesque displays you can think of. Most of it isn't. But something dialed into that specific thing and made it a singular focus. So maybe even the gods have been corrupted by curiosity.
So you answered my
It was-
question. You talked to it.
Mhm.
Yes.
What-
All it wanted to do was talk about killing and besting us. That is all. It didn't sound like curiosity, though. But that eye, the third one, was watching us on its own.
Yes, like it seemed like the only thing it was concerned about was besting us, and it only in martial combat, not even in words. And from what I know of your people, there are even some warrior like thinkers, right, Albus? There's not necessarily just martial combat. There are also people who spar each other with words and debate. This was not what he was about.
There are philosophers in our tribes. Jason, have I ever, like, in this world, do we know what the gods are supposed to look like if we follow a specific one?
The gods are, it'd be more accurate to say that the gods are defined by those that worship them. So to know what they are
Okay.
supposed to look like is more like what do people believe that they look like, or how are they depicted? They are sort of given purpose and form by those that believe in them, and then kind of shaped by it. So it's not impossible for like a god to maybe change over time in like little ways. Usually his beliefs shift and stuff. But like Yeah, the god of martial prowess is usually depicted as a tiger folk. He's usually incredibly physically strong. He is cunning. He does have like an intelligence and a guile to him, but it is usually in besting the other opponent in physical combat. It is not so much a battle of true wits. They're not like necessarily playing chess. It can certainly be like, you know, like you could play like checkers, and it might be like you have to learn to anticipate your opponent's move, but that is always in service of the ultimate goal of martial arts.
It's like
Essentially,
Goku.
You are always like Goku.
He's
Yeah,
just
exactly
Goku.
like
Okay.
Goku. Yeah.
So do
Yeah,
you
a
guys?
big mane on him that sticks out, you know,
Yeah.
like Goku. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I have
just
to
like
ask:
Goku,
are you
yeah.
sharing the thing about the divine servant?
Sorry, say again, Sean.
Yeah, what?
Are you sharing the part where about the divine servant? Because I think that's very interesting, but I don't know about
I
it.
certainly.
Yes,
Oh, like
yeah.
what his last comment when
Yeah.
he's talking about the besting that one big guy. I mean, yeah, we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 'cause
don't know
Steve
if
thinks-
you-
That's interesting.
It's
Or do you want to? Or do you want to actually say? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
it seemed like he wasn't interested in listening at all what I had to say unless someone were to defeat, I suppose, his chosen in essence.
His chosen. Did
Maybe-
he say who his chosen
Did he
was?
say who his chosen was?
Just the mightiest warrior that he didn't give us a name other than that ultimately we bored him and he threw us out.
So, who is the religious expert in this group for me to answer to ask this question?
That's
Unfortunately, the religious expert you had slit a couple throats and ran off.
Okay,
so
great.
you're,
great.
you're kind
So I
of
would
lacking
ask-
somebody who's a true expert on religion.
I guess I would ask
Mhm.
Albus, like, so it's not known a divine servant as a religious title among your people.
No.
I wonder if it could just be this beast god, sorry, no offense, idly saying something, but I'm wondering if it's a clue, like if he has a divine servant that serves as some sort of avatar and we were to best them in combat, is that some method of curing or breaking the hold or accomplishing something? Was he actually giving us a clue, or was he just battle starved?
Only one way to find out.
I
Feel
mean-
like the corruption has something to do with it. The way that they described how the god was interacting with them is not unbecoming of the god of martial prowess, but also somewhat uncharacteristic.
Well, and you guys described, I'm assuming, right? Like that his muscles were literally tearing the flesh on his body.
I
Mhm.
did do that
Yeah.
in my
Mhm.
initial description. I did say that.
Okay,
Three
great.
eyes, muscles tearing the thing. Said he looked like a tiger folk, but not.
Okay.
right.
And then
And how the third eye was acting separately
Mhm.
than the rest of him.
I did
The
mention
third eye
that.
is normally not part
Okay.
of the description.
Nope.
This is true. I mean, in Albus, about the only thing that what Steve has mentioned that like you could even maybe guess at is that like amongst like your tribe, the one like you have that whole academy, the whole school where people fight amongst each other. So
Mhm.
like the headmaster of that school, would sort of be considered like the best or maybe the closest to your god amongst your people because they are presumably the most experienced warrior. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's maybe the closest that you would know of like a champion amongst your people. I would say that like I'm trying to remember were you was the chief the one that ran the school when you were handing me the background, or
I guess he's more or less just part of the ceremony at the end that provides them with either their title of whatever they become. But he's in charge, but he's not like overall supervising everything that takes place. There are subordinates that do that.
You mean of the village or of the school in particular, or are they the same
school.
person? Of the school. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that would be probably who you would say is like the person, essentially the head of the school, chief, headmaster, whatever you would call him.
Yep.
He's maybe the closest. There's like a house of knowledge, right? And so whoever runs the house of knowledge might be considered something the equivalent of like the head priest of that kind of church, right? They don't have like mass or anything like that. They worship the god of knowledge. So whoever runs the library is sort of considered the head priest. In the same vein, whoever runs the school that trains martial arts would sort of be considered the closest to the god. That's about as close as you could, like as far as what Steve's talking about like
Sure.
a chosen or something like that. Yeah.
Well, then, Albus, it's a two-part problem. One is identifying them, and the second is, based on your knowledge, are we even close to being able to best them in combat?
Besting the champion?
It sounds bad when you say it like that, but yeah, especially with my sword not really working anymore. Do we even have a shot yet?
He's extremely formidable and has seen many battles. His knowledge and his determination to win makes him a very strong adversary.
Do me a favor. Compare him to Marius that we just fought. How much more powerful is he than him?
Uncomparable. It's going to be
That
beyond...
sounds like bad news.
Yes. He has been in our tribe. He has been chosen by our god to be the most recognized in our tribe of having the highest abilities and highest skill, and embraces everything that is of our religion.
And then I'm thinking, if this line of thinking has any merit at all, is there a figure that we know of that could serve the goddess of beauty? That could serve as her avatar or representative or champion.
Mm.
Again, the person we could have asked is not here anymore.
Is not here anymore.
Or might be that champion now.
Yeah.
True.
I'm
Well, you
wondering.
could have maybe asked around the art scene. Maybe they had like a director of the theater that might have known some famous stuff.
Well, that's fine. We can turn him into an
unfortunately.
anchorite and ask him. So all of life's problems can be solved by anchorites. I'm wondering if the third eye was Bolin.
Could be Bolin, could be the actual god, uncorrupted,
Mhm.
still
Trapped
under the
inside.
surface.
Right. One or the other subsumed by whatever other force
Mhm.
has taken this over.
I think it's curiosity, but whatever.
The third eye is curiosity.
You would know
Yeah.
best. You were there and you have
I-
a connection with it.
I do think it. Jason, tell me, am I right or wrong?
I
don't
can't tell
think
you
you
these
can
things.
tell me.
How are you supposed to know?
I like the attempt, though.
Tell me, can I do a check?
Castrol is
Yeah,
going,
exactly.
Jason,
Give me a
tell
check.
Jason, I
You want to
noticed
check?
that she
Okay,
is
make
doing
me
finger
a.
guns, and I think that does change.
What would that be
That's
like?
pretty
an insight?
dangerous.
I
Now
didn't
would it
see
be like
that at
willpower?
first.
Willpower?
You could die.
Really? Just to know?
There's no
Insight
knowledge.
willpower.
There's no knowledge, right?
Yeah, there is.
Fine.
There's an.
By making
That's
insight,
the one that's not a preset roll.
make an insight and a willpower.
Well, and
Oh.
is
Wow.
there- was
Tell
there
you
any
it's a
emotion
willpower.
too as she's
Suss
making
it
this
out.
check?
With disadvantage because you
Look at
question
that.
the DM.
Hold on. I'm gonna re-roll that 4 though.
Nice.
Doug, that's another point.
So that's another point. By the way, everybody, that's another point. It's re-rolling my D10. 5.
Okay.
Eat me.
An 11?
11.
That's an 11.
You cannot be sure. However, the way that it moved, the way that it glanced from one to the other, to the sort of almost manic desire as it looked around independent of the god itself would seem familiar to you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
all
a
I
better
needed to
answer
know.
than the magic 8-ball. You cannot be sure.
Ask again later.
Is this like a close familiarity, or is this like you just met him familiarity?
Don't ask him that. I don't want to know. I know
I've
I'm
heard
familiar.
stories, and then I can only assume this person is.
I've had a lot of people tell me a lot of things about eyeballs. They always say
I make
So-
the greatest eyeballs.
the greatest
So,
eyeballs.
Kestrel, do you tell us that you're pretty sure that it's curiosity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably gonna. You guys are talking, and I'm like, that's curiosity. I maybe I don't know for sure, but certainly felt very familiar.
Well,
Are you
based
saying
on
that a curiosity corrupted a god?
I guess I am.
That's
yes.
what I was asking earlier, and it makes me wonder sort of what the hell we're supposed to do then.
Our
God.
best.
keep finding answers, I guess that's why I think all roads now definitely point to Casimir. The more we can learn right now, we're fighting with no answers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kestrel.
No.
Albus is not terribly excited about that idea.
Was there
Yeah.
anything else we wanted to? Was there anything else we wanted to discuss?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, like a bunches
Okay.
and bunches. But
Okay.
do you have?
I'll save it then.
Okay. Well, your thing can be one of the things that we
Yeah,
discussed.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but I was talking to Rosalind while you all went to see Bolin, and there was an interesting idea. She mentioned that we don't know what the status is on anyone in the Grove, and I suppose I have not been there since I was a small child. But I remember I could feel what was happening to Albus across the city, and I thought maybe I could try to figure out what's going on in the Grove, or just try to reach out and see if they're okay. It's just for information and my peace of mind.
You've also described your brother as being the mightiest warrior of the Grove, right?
Yes, not follower of God of martial prowess, does not the same thing.
But it does seem like if we were at least able to get his insight, or even as an ally, that
should
he
be
would-
inside the Grove, though. He should be.
Mhm.
And how would we even get?
Well,
Maybe
you
I
said
could-
you could check.
I don't know if
Kestrel?
Huh?
You said you could try to reach out and check, even if he is in the Grove. You can check on your family.
I could try. I don't know. I could feel Albus across city. Maybe I can reach out to him.
I think let's absolutely do it.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wondering if our paths are ultimately leading to us visiting the Grove, and I know you have expressed concern about that. But the more we keep meeting dead ends, the more it's seeming like the Grove is going to have some kind of answers that we need. So if you can reach out and kind of get some sort of sense of what's going on there,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
And you should probably continue to keep tabs, especially since Leopold is now aware of, you and the possible, I can't think of the word, but yeah, we just don't want him now sending out groups or something to that area.
Good point.
I agree. I could do it now if you are willing to wait for me to try.
How long does it take you a little bit to set up?
If from distance takes some time, not a whole day, but you remember, Albus, I was not very much here when I was sensing what was happening with him. So it might take me a few minutes.
What do you guys think? Should we do it now?
Is there a way we can?
Is
Go
there a
ahead.
way-
I was gonna say I'm inclined to like visit the other topics first and then do this big thing, but I'm also fine for
Mhm.
doing it now. What do you guys think?
I don't care. That's why I was willing to do it later. So
Yeah, I mean, I could bring up the hand at the facility as the best word I could come up with for it. I don't know if you guys noticed that there was this hand on his desk, and it was fidgety and whatever. It did seem like it had some intelligence to it, so I handed it a pen, and this is what it wrote down. And I'm sorry, Jason, but I don't remember everything that you said about what it wrote down. But
called you an idiot, I'm pretty sure.
We
Yeah,
got the
That was
gist
the
of
first.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or it
well, eventually it told you to break it to
Release
free it and then kill the doctor.
Yeah, it did say
Mhm.
kill
And
the
its
Oh,
name
yeah, kill
is
the
Ixaloth,
doctor.
That was pretty fucking scary.
and
Ixaloth the Mighty.
it says let
Yeah.
him free.
Yeah, break me, break arm, kill doctor.
And for whatever it's worth, my book made fun of that arm as we were heading out of the facility.
How so?
Your book talked to the arm, or just made a note of the arm?
Just sort of laughed at it.
It's
Weird.
a non-existent book.
The non-existent book.
Mhm.
Yeah, this
Making
book.
shit up again.
Fake book.
Talk about this fake book. It won't even let me touch it.
Mhm.
but
I don't
from
even
what
know
we
where to go with that. Roz, I'm glad you shared, but I can't even begin to make sense of that sentence.
What else did the hand say to you, Gunolf?
It just wrote down these words. I don't know if it was calling me an idiot or the doctor an idiot, but I can only assume that it meant me. But at the very least, it seemed like it seemed to be powered by the same material that was drawn to your sword.
Oh yeah,
Steve.
what was that, Steve? What was that
Yeah,
weird stuff that you got about your
Well,
sword?
I suppose now is as good a time as any, and I pull out the glass cylinder protective case, and I say it seemed to react to my sword. It has, and I just explained the whole thing about the negative magic energies and how they're kind of both similar. Clearly, my sword still has some sort of magic. It's not just a piece of metal, or else they would not have attracted it. And the doctor said that I could take some, and I was hoping to get Gunolf's help and seeing if we could find some way to boost the signal or amplify the sword's ability that is still in there somewhere.
Considering that he's taken quite a lot of painstaking effort to isolate this sample, I think we should take the same effort to isolate the sample with your sword. If that is going to be something we do, that we introduce the two together.
I will do whatever you think makes sense. I thought it was too good of an opportunity to pass up, but we don't need to do that right now. I just wanted to let everybody know I have the substance. I don't trust the doctor, but I will say I found him more amenable than I was expecting during our visit.
Yeah,
He threatened to kill me, but that's okay. Or he said he wanted to at one point, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like that. That was the
Yeah.
part I didn't like.
He's killed just a few
Yeah, my
others
list
as
of
well.
qualities. Yeah, the killing you.
Yeah.
That was pretty low on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
He did seem like he lost a lot of his humanity after. What I can only assume from the stories you told me, Miss Sharp. It seemed like he was cold, unnaturally so, focused on his tasks, and they were grotesque in nature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying that Sorry, Jason. I'm not saying that the work that I do isn't. It's down to a science, but ultimately it's combining the soul with a physical being. So it seemed like it was much more gross. It disregarded everything in terms for progress, is what I'm trying to get at. Progress was the only thing that it was interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we can't trust him. But I do agree with Marie that I think he's in there somewhere still. But we can't punish him for his crimes as much as we'd like to because the Empire makes him untouchable. I think the best we can do right now is an uneasy alliance where we don't fully trust where he's coming from at any point. I don't know if we have a better option, though. To just make a full-on enemy seems to be limiting what few options we have at this point.
Well, before we went to the facility, I was half a mind to suggest that we go to the Inquisitors. And seeing as the Inquisitors are being directly passed information from Leopold, I don't think I like that idea anymore either.
Yep. They've sanctioned a weapon. They've decided to bring back Leopold for his research. They decided against other revivals that could make sense. And I'm going to let Marie take that one later with Kestrel. But,
Oh, right, about Bishop.
that would be funny.
Being
if you said.
genuinely dead.
I'm gonna let Marie. Oh yeah, right, Bishop. That Bishop's dead. Yeah, fully dead. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I do need to talk to her about that later.
Oopsie.
Yeah, but to your point, Roz. One of our best sources of information so far has been Leopold. I think that says something about our status in this world right now and how few people we can trust at all. It's a miracle we even came across each other, to be frank.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways, we have the Inquisitors to thank for that.
Yeah.
If they
The irony.
if they had been more forthcoming, maybe that trust would be a two-way street. But as you said, Leopold gave us a lot of information. Don't trust him as far as I can throw him. But this problem is too big for us. We need to find someone, some group, some organization, something that can help us. If curiosity, a concept to which I was wonderfully unaware of prior to this morning, has the ability to subsume the gods, we certainly can't be doing this as a ragtag band of heroes.
Well, and fuck you. I'm gonna assume you told us this. You told and tell me if I shouldn't assume this. You told Kestrel, like, stopping the weapon. We obviously can't just be like, hey, we need to shut this down. It's backed by the fucking Empire. But if we could, along those lines of getting more support, if we get support from another city or anyone who could back us more, it seems like that's what we're going to have to do. We are 6 people. At best, we were 7. We lost one already.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with forces that we are too big for us alone. So I guess the question becomes, what other forces are out there? It's the Empire, right? They own everything, right?
Well, it's one more reason to potentially support the Grove. But that comes with its own unique list of problems.
That's true.
So I guess at this point it'd be the best time to contact the Grove.
Okay. I can, if everyone's willing to wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think that did anyone have anything else? I think that was pretty much everything for now.
Nothing that matters this minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna touch the button now.
You're
What
gonna
am I
touch the
touching?
button.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, is this ritual? There's just a button. There's like a machine. You just press it and.
Well, you know, me, the player, touch button.
No, I know.
She's
How
not
much-
touching button.
It's on her bracelets.
How much MP do you
Beep
have?
beep boop. Turn on the
I have full
transponder
because
device.
Gunolf gave me a thing.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on.
Are you
How
looking
mu-
at the
how much
rules
is
for
full for
ritualism?
Yeah, I am
It's
looking at rules.
54.
So, hold on.
You explode.
Oh, I hope not.
Needed 55. That's
You're gonna turn
unfortunate.
into that giant winged creature in this tiny little room.
Yeah. Tear shit up, go on a
Mhm.
rampage.
This is a major ritualism, is it?
This is a major ritual, and it is not affecting an individual. So, you may attempt.
What if I
this.
just wanted to call Wolf?
Wolf? Okay, I will say this: you do sit down and you begin to focus,
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell you right now, as soon as you try to sort of commune with the Grove, with as they describe here, a few human-sized creatures. A small clearing or room or whatever, which I'm going to say is a small area. It's a select few people that you know. That is beyond your current MP cost. You do not have a way of doing it.
Okay.
There are ways to cut that in half if you can find certain rare ingredients, but you're not doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you recenter your focus on a single human-sized creature,
Wolf.
or a tree, or a door,
A door.
in case you want to talk to you,
I want to talk to the door.
That does put the MP cost at 40, which is within your realm of being able to attempt.
Oh, you're gonna be tired.
But
Well, it's fine because we're all gonna go to sleep because it's night.
there is a okay, so I will say if you succeed, the ritual has the desired effect. If you fail, the game master will describe how its effects have been twisted in a catastrophic way. I will also
Oh.
let you know that the difficulty level is 13.
Don't kill your brother.
Okay.
Cool.
Maybe start with the door, test it out.
No.
If anybody, which ritualism is this? Is it ritualism or?
Well, it is spiritualism or
Okay,
something.
I don't think anybody else has that.
What?
as a-
No.
Yeah,
Mhm.
actually, though, can we help in like supporting her
Oh, yeah.
or granting energy?
You
We have
can.
Some
When
kind
a,
of
character
connection.
when a character attempts a ritual, other characters can help, even if they have no ability to perform rituals themselves. It becomes a group check, and the character performs a ritual will act as leader. So, yes, I'd probably say you all have to like hold hands or something. You have to
Ew.
physically connect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna-
We all
Uh,
formed.
yeah.
We had a blood pact. Let's
Yeah.
all gather around.
We're all gonna
it-
chant
it-
around you.
That is everyone except Rosalind. So,
Sorry, Roz.
I am gonna try to channel, now that I've learned a little bit more, whatever paltry magic is left in my sword to aid in this thing. Paltry.
Is
Yeah.
it
Yes.
a chicken sword?
That's
Yes,
right.
It's a chicken sword.
It could take any shape. So
Poultry magic. You don't
That's
want
true,
beef
that's
magic.
I kill my
Yeah.
chickens with this.
where do you think
so
you got
what-
the name
what
Dawn
check-
Feather from?
What check is that, Jason? To help?
so you basically all make the same check, but you're trying to beat DC 10.
And I'm just
Okay.
making whatever my spells casting check is, right?
Yes, you're all making
It's
it,
a-
which is the
It's insight willpower.
correct. Insight
Yep.
willpower.
Insight
yeah.
willpower.
All right.
All
Here I
right.
Go to help.
I think for the first time in this campaign, I'm going to spend a Fabula
Well,
point.
Great.
Ooh,
I'm also going to spend a Fabula point.
What are you
15.
spending that Fabula point for?
To reroll my 7.
The one.
hmm
Ooh, I'm gonna spend my last point.
I need to re-roll mine. So
So we have a lot to keep
Okay.
track of here.
Yeah,
so,
I'm a 13 now.
okay.
Okay, so that's one from Chris.
Well, that's better.
And
Okay,
that's
you're-
one from me. I'm going to evoke a bond to change it from a 9 to a 10.
And I am also going to invoke a bond to change it from 9 to 10.
I guess I need to do the thing.
We've spent like 10 Fabula points this session.
Yeah, I just spent
technically 9 to 11 because of my bond with Kestrel. I am
There.
trying to help her with
That's
this.
true.
Great. Even better.
Description, I rolled like shit and I need to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm,
It wants me
mhm.
to type a description when I spend a Fabula point, so I did.
Okay. Real quick, I just want to get opinions. I got a 5 and a 2. I got a 5 on the D10 and a 2 on the D8. Should I just re-roll the whole thing?
I mean, I guess the question is, do we get to know how many group successes we've had before you have to make that decision?
So group checks set DC of 10. So you do know all 5 of you have passed that now, which is a +1 for each supporting character. So there's a +5 to this roll.
So it's a
Nice.
7. So I think you
Okay.
just re-rolled a 2. I think those are the best odds rather than going in with 2 raw, because then you just
Yeah.
need to get a 3 to beat 13.
I could also just add a bond to this. I could
That
add
would
my
also-
bond with Wolf.
That would get you to 13, yeah.
That'd
I
be
think
cute.
I'm gonna do that.
Because 5 and
Okay.
2 is 7, plus our 5 is 12. If you can give it a +1, that's 13.
So, Doug, with this point, is that now 11 Fabula points this session alone?
I've counted 12.
Even better. I trust you, especially because it's higher than
So-
what I said.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had one holdover from last session.
Oh, gotcha.
So I spent a Fabula point. It is now an 8. 8 plus 5 is 13, so I pass.
Okay. You reach out in the same way that you have attempted to reach out to the others in your party, essentially.
Mhm.
It's not the same kind of like pull them into the grove kind of thing, but in the same way that you tried to feel their general sort of emotions, their like, what are their vibes, what's their general status, location, that sort of
Mhm.
thing. And given that all of you guys are here, I'm inclined to say that those of you who are helping, although it's arguably Rosalind shouldn't be able to help, but I'm going to let it slide. Rosalind's here for moral support.
Yes, that's what I need.
And but those of you who share the psychic connection are able to sort of feel this as well, to maybe a lesser degree, but it's there. And feeling out, you sort of feel your consciousness leave and drift towards where he is, wherever that may be. And as you do, you begin to feel some of his like emotions, like what he's going through. And you get that feeling of he's on the hunt. He's on the trail. He's on the run. He's moving. He's active. He's pushing himself. There's that heightened level of attention to his environment. He's trying to find something, avoid something. You can feel all of that kind of melding within you. But as all of this is happening, you also feel like you catch glimpses, images, maybe parts of thoughts. It's strange because this isn't necessarily what you were reaching for, but as it sort of crystallizes in your feelings and in your mind, it becomes clear why. As you are thinking of Wolf, he is thinking of you. His mind seems dead set on finding you. He has your scent within his own nostrils. He can smell you. And the other scents paint a picture within his mind, within his feelings, and within yours. And he is not in the grove. He is on the open plains. He is close to Lighthaven. And as the sort of ritual kind of comes to a bit of a close of this instant, the shared connection, you get the feeling that thought of his where he's just thinking single-mindedly, Kestrel, I'm coming for you. And then the connection kind of severs.
Wait, I can't try to. Wait!
You were only trying to sense
No!
him.
Oh,
I didn't feel anything. Did it work?
actually-
I think it worked, but he's not in the. We know this, right? It's not just Kestrel.
Hmm.
I like Kestrel.
Well, a
Kestrel
lesser
anyway,
degree, but yes.
Correct. It is far less severe, but you get like a feeling. It's sort of like a rebound effect of it. Yeah.
He's not in the grove. He's coming for me. He's close. My brother. He's coming for me.
He's close. Like how close?
Sorry, I'm just like nearby by Lighthaven. I don't know how he's here. How could he have gotten out of the cordon?
Did we try to find him? Like, did you? I wasn't really seeing. I don't know what I was looking at. Do you know where he was?
Somewhere nearby. It was plains, grass, almost like the grass when we were coming in on the train. It was like that. He's near.
Well, then perhaps we should stay our travel.
Yeah, I was
should
going
not
to
meet
say
him
this
in the city.
complicates
I
a couple
don't know.
things. It's good, Kestrel,
Well,
but
we shouldn't meet him in the city.
We could meet him near Donlaika. It would get us out of the city towards Cossamer and give us a place to wait because my grandfather has a place there.
Donlaika is
it's
more
far-
north than Casimir, though, right?
Yes.
No,
It's north of Lighthaven. Just north
North
of
of
Lighthaven.
Lighthaven, south
Donlaika-
of Casimir.
And then Casimir's more north of that.
Yeah.
And then what's Rosalind's
Yes.
place? That was even north
Cas-
of that.
Way the hell up north. Well,
Okay,
are you
okay.
talking about the destination? Because that's way up north.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking. Yeah, those are the Northlands. Those are up even beyond Casimir. Correct.
Okay.
So we're all
Now
north.
my only concern is like you don't think like him like I don't want to him oh my god. I'm scared for him coming to Lighthaven. Like I don't know, like would it be
No,
better to
he
almost
should-
like leave Lighthaven
we should
like
leave.
Yeah,
We should
but
leave.
go
should we
south
go south,
instead
though?
of north? Like I don't want him to come through Lighthaven to get to us. But you know,
My brother is very smart, skilled hunter, best that there is in the grove. No one better than him. No one.
okay.
He would not make a stupid decision, but we should not be here when we try.
Yes. Yeah.
He is not. Wolf is not like me. I speak and talk like rest of you. Sometimes Wolf spent a whole life in Cordon. He will not be like me, so we should not meet him in Lighthaven.
So he wouldn't even like try to come into the city or like.
I do not think
Okay,
so.
Then yes, I like the idea of Gunnolf's family.
Well, I just feel bad that he's chasing us and we're putting more distance via carriage. And that's why I'm wondering, should we meet him south? So he doesn't have to go to the
But
city
how?
and we meet him like by tomorrow, possibly.
Maybe.
What if we take the carriage, head north of the city, camp a day's travel away? Let him catch up to us there and then figure out what to do next. Head in the direction of Donlaika and Casimir, but not all
But
the
not
way
all
there,
the
so he's
way.
not chasing us, but far enough from the city that we get some separation.
That's a good idea.
This is perfect. You talk about needing allies for the coming fight, or I don't know, to take down Wolf stronger than anyone I ever known. He powerful enough to rend the marrow trees with his bare claws, undefeated, most powerful. He would make perfect ally. He could help us.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I suppose the only question is, you did your ritual to return to the original point, and it's awesome that he's here, but we probably need to do it again when you're feeling up to it to actually get some insight into the grove, right? Or do you think that he'll have all your answers?
He will have some. I've not been in Grove since I was very, very small child, but, well, not very small, smaller. Anyway, he will have been there recently. He would know some, but admittedly, I tried to connect to the Grove somewhat outside of my capabilities right now.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, like, seeing what he knows, and then kind of going from there. Because, depending on what he says, we might just need to know to hightail it there, or, like, that might help just answer our questions on if checking in on it is worth it. If that makes sense.
So if we're leaving Lighthaven, I think I have a perfect place for us to go before we head out. It's a restaurant, Albus, that they give you like insights into how your destination will go, like that. So I think it'd be great if we could grab some food before we take off.
Oh, we need to stock up on supplies, and like we need to be prepared for a longer journey here. We can't leave this minute.
Mhm.
But
No,
perhaps
of
after a
course.
night's rest, after the day we've had, and some quick supply gathering in the morning, we can head out.
Yeah, because like you said, I think Albus needs to restock his food.
Yes, restock his food, and then we could all go to the. Jason, did we ever discuss what the place might be called?
No, but there is a place that does have a panseer. Yes.
Yes.
The Pokemon?
No. They are seers that use food, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they can teach Albus how to do that.
How dare you?
There is, yeah. We can get into it when you guys visit the panseer.
That may give us enough of a leaving off point then. We could still have side conversations, but maybe those are better suited for next time.
I'll just have
Be
to
like a
remember
resting
them.
activity, or never mind.
But
I don't.
I guess if you guys want to, because are you going to rest for the night?
Yes, I think this is going to be like the cutoff point for the night. Tomorrow is for restocking, going to the Panseer, going north a little bit, and seeing if we can come across Wolf.
Yeah.
Depending on the amount of days that it's going to take for him to catch up.
Okay. Then we will end tonight's session here. You guys can decide what kind of resting activities, maybe any other conversation, late night conversations, or other things that you want to cover when we start up next time. And then we can handle basically stocking up before leaving town, and then leaving town, and potentially, depends on how long we go, meeting up with Wolf. So, or at least camping, attempting to. So,
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Great.
Yay, new companion.
okay.